Hi, I'm Katie.
And I'm Kaela. And this is the Katie and Kaela show. That was cringy.
That was cringy, but that was the goal, right?
Yeah, that was actually. Okay, for those of you who don't know, Katie and I met at a Turning Point conference back in the day.
Back in the day. You mean like a year ago?
I mean, yes, but I'm 19, so that was 1/19th of my life.
So this show specifically focuses on
Whatever the hell we want to talk about. Katie, we went over this. We are random. It's how it works.
Okay. That's right. And what we want to talk about today is the Tara Reade scandal. We will be addressing the history of the allegation, Biden's campaign, our personal opinions on the subject matter, and then we will move on to the latest update in the scandal. And yes, we checked. It is pronounced Tara. And no, we did not have to go back and re-record this multiple times because I kept saying Tara.
To be fair, I did too. And then we would switch back and forth in the... Yeah. But before we get to the history of the allegation, we need to define some terms so we're all on the same page. For example, sexual harassment is defined by the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission as offensive remarks about a person's sex, unwelcome sexual advances, or requests for sexual favors.
Sexual assault, on the other hand, is defined by the Department of Justice as any type of sexual contact or behavior that occurs without the explicit consent of the recipient.
So the history of the allegation, according to Tara Reade, starts with alleged sexual harassment from Biden as she was working for him. There were apparently various comments about Biden being very attracted to Tara Reade's legs, which she was told by a coworker was the only reason Biden wanted her to work for him.
Big yikes.
Yeah.
She then states that when she reported the incident, she was told to change how she was dressed. She was told to button up her blouse more and wear longer skirts. And in her exclusive interview with Megyn Kelly, which both Kaela and I watched together, she was asked if she was dressed provocatively, and she had a resounding no.
As Katie said, both of us have watched the Tara Reade interview with Megyn Kelly, and according to Reade, the main assault happened when Tara was told to bring a gym bag to Biden.
Warning, uncomfortable content ahead, parental guidance suggested.
As Reade approached him, he very quickly pushed her against a wall and put his hand up her skirt. She then says his fingers entered her and he began to whisper vulgar things in her ear, such as, "I want to bleep you," and "Do you want to go somewhere else?" Tara says she pulled back at that moment, and Biden became very upset with her and stated that she was nothing to him.
Tara. Reade states that she told her mother and one of her friends about the incident. She states that she tried to tell other staffers about what happened but was shut down, and so she decided to submit a written statement about the harassment to a staff office. Note that she did not submit the written statement for the assault, but only for the harassment. It's important to note that all of this occurred in 1993, and Reade did not come out with her full story, sexual assault and all, until April of 2019. So let's talk a little bit about the attention that this situation has gotten from the media, or lack thereof, TBH. Kaela?
Honestly, this really gets my blood boiling, because according to a New York Times article on April 30th, which isn't that long ago at the time of recording this video, Tara Reade only received offers to go on air with Fox News, and she did an interview with Megyn Kelly, although some media sites have been doing quick stories about Tara Reade and articles on their websites. There have been no offers as of April 30th for interviews on major news networks, which is shocking and disgusting, considering that if this did happen, there would be some detrimental effects on the Biden campaign.
Yeah, and I mean, to be honest, this could be one of the biggest stories, of course, other than coronavirus, that's going on right now.
Exactly. It's astounding that they would rather keep the DNC poster boy in check rather than, getting actual justice for something that they claim to care a lot about. But that's besides the point.
Yeah. So let's talk about possible effects this could have on the Biden campaign. So should these allegations be true, Biden would essentially be forced to withdraw from the campaign, I suppose. But the DNC,
Rightfully so.
but the DNC seems to be backing him regardless of this scandal, and so, as the only remaining candidate to compete against Donald Trump, a new candidate would have to step in immediately, with much speculation saying it would be none other than our very own homegirl, Hillary Clinton. Big yikes. What do you think about that, Kaela?
I mean, honestly, I'm kind of down to see the 2016 rematch because I think that would be I could be wrong, but I think that would be the first time in history we would have two of the same elections back to back.
Oh, that would be interesting. That would be interesting.
It would make history, to say the least.
Yeah, it would. Definitely would.
Yeah.
But should these allegations be false, because everybody deserves due process, in our opinion, maybe not on the left's opinion, maybe to the left, only Democrats deserve due process when they're accused of something, and if a Republican, like, I don't know, Justice Brett Kavanaugh, maybe, were accused of something, let's throw due process out the window. But should these allegations be false, it could spell disaster for some conservative media outlets. However, it could also spell disaster for the left's believe all women narrative. Because if it's false, you obviously couldn't believe this woman.
Personally, I think that everything Tara Reade said was completely 100% true and accurate. After watching the interview, she states a lot about her first thoughts going through her mind of what happened, and speaking from experience, it kind of goes along the lines with your first thought is something completely different because your mind just wants to escape that situation, which she exemplified to a T, stating that when it first happened, she was wondering where the gym bag went, because that's what she was supposed to be handing him. After that, she kind of starts saying, like, what did I do to bring this upon myself? Like, what happened? Like, why did he, like, think that that's what I wanted? Because you just don't ever want to believe that somebody is capable of that callous behavior. Which, again, she exemplifies to a T. From everything that I've read and experienced, like, this is a textbook case of sexual assault, and she is the textbook victim. Not saying that if she didn't display certain signs, it wouldn't be true, but I'm saying that I believe everything she's saying because everything she's saying fits along the lines of a sexual assault victim. What do you think, Katie?
I personally am going to withhold an opinion on guilt or not. However, I do lean towards him being guilty of this. I don't think it's something that is beneath him. I don't think it's, mischaracterizing him to say that he could do something like this. And as far as the interview, it was, of course, very emotional and hard to watch. And just watching her saying what happened to her, I get the vibe that it actually did happen. However, I'm not placing any guilt on anybody yet because, of course, we don't yet have, like, a confession from Biden or a guilty verdict. So I'm going to withhold my opinion on that, but I do lean towards him being guilty.
Yeah, I can see that. I just want to say one more thing. I've been seeing a lot on Twitter about her changing her story and eventually getting it progressively worse and worse as time goes on, which, yes, it does. Like, I could see why certain people on Twitter are saying that it does look suspicious and everything, but what people don't understand is with a lot of sexual assault victims, it takes a while to fully come to terms with what happened. It can take months, even years, for some people to fully comprehend exactly what happened to them. And then there's also the feelings of shame and guilt and saying, like, oh, because it's not always a textbook case of I have a gun to my head. It's either this or that. Sometimes you just sometimes individuals think that, oh, there's something going on, like this, I kind of brought this on myself, maybe I did something that they thought meant this, and there's a lot of things, so it's her becoming more and more comfortable telling her story after years have passed, I think is totally within character, especially even taking this long, I think is 100% in character, and I think it's pretty accurate.
Kaela, could you tell us a little bit about the most recent story that we have about this case.
Okay, so the main reason we're doing this video is because there has been new evidence of Tara Reade's allegation against Joe Biden, which is 1996 court documents. So Tara Reade had an abusive ex-husband where the court had to get involved, and she filed a restraining order against Theodore Dronin, her ex-husband. She states in the Megyn Kelly interview that this involved going to women's facilities and the name change later on in life, but that's another story. What we're mainly focusing on is how Theodore Dronin had filed a petition against the restraining order Tara Reade lodged against him. And in the court doc, Dronin states that he had been told of sexual harassment Reade was experiencing at work by Joe Biden. So there is a written documentation of proof from 1996, only 3 years after this alleged incident had taken place. And also a neighbor at the time, who was also a part of the court documents, also reported having similar conversations with Reade about the sexual harassment she experienced while working for Joe Biden.
Where do you think this will take us, this new evidence, Kaela?
Well, Joe Biden stated himself that he wants to open up all this questioning and wants to open up an entire investigation to see if this really happened, which, you know, is kind of funny considering I fully believe that he doesn't remember it happening nowadays.
I honestly think that this story is going to continue to be pushed aside due to coronavirus and due to the DNC trying to smash it down. But I guess we'll see. Tara Reade did say in the Megyn Kelly interview that she's willing to go under oath and say that this happened to her. So that could definitely be a game changer in the story.
It could. Also, I really just kind of hope that in the future, has anyone, like, Katie, have you seen that MSNBC interview between Joe Biden where the hard questions lodged at him about Tara Reade?
No, I haven't, but I think I read a little bit about it.
That reporter did an amazing job. She was great. I don't always agree with her on everything, but that particular interview was a very good interview, and she was asking the hard questions that the American people deserve to know. And I really, really hope that all the other reporters can get on board with that situation and go back to what media and journalism used to be and report the story, not the propaganda.
Amen. Trust me, I study journalism.
Yeah.
And if you thought it was already downhill, it will continue to go downhill until people like us stand up and speak.
Exactly. I highly recommend everyone goes and does their own research. These particular interviews were very enlightening, and it kind of led to my current opinion on Joe Biden. I mean, the dude's called Creepy Joe.
It seems pretty on character.
What do you have to do to get a nickname like that? I mean, come on.
Sniff little girl's hair.
Oh, okay. Well, we went there. We went there.
But, anyways, I think that's all I have about Tara Reade. What about you, Katie?
I think that's all there is to say. All we have to do is see what comes next.
Yep. Make sure you guys go and check out our other content. We both have individual videos, and we will both continue uploading individual videos.
Go subscribe down below, hit the notification bell, and follow us on all social media platforms. I will put our social media usernames below so that you can go find us at Probably Political. And for all of us at Probably Political and from the Katie and Kaela Show, we'd just like to say thank you for watching.
Have a great day.